Hey guys, it's Larry Greenberg here, and I've turned the camera around to talk about my recent visit to the Apple Store. If you're watching this video, surely you're aware that just yesterday Apple released brand new MacBook Air computers. They released two models, an 11.6-inch model and a 13-inch model, and I decided I want one. What I wasn't sure about is which model I was going to choose. So I'm just back from the Apple Store. There's the bag. I'm not going to show you what I chose yet. I want to first talk about my thought process and why I chose what I chose and what I was struggling with. But before that, let me give you a quick background. I currently have a 2008 iMac. That's my main computer. I have that set up with dual monitors, so I have 3 displays. It runs pretty well. I upgraded to Lion yesterday. It's a little sluggish on that machine, but not, terrible. It's certainly usable for what I do on a day-to-day basis. Most of the things I do are over the internet, browsing the web. Obviously, I do videos. iMovie does seem to bog down the computer a little bit, but it's nothing unbearable. I've thought that I needed to upgrade that computer, and I've been kind of waiting to upgrade the iMac and haven't done it yet. So the struggle I was faced was, do I go with the 11-inch MacBook Air now and hold off on upgrading the iMac until a later date? Or do I get the 13-inch MacBook now and make that my main computer and get rid of the iMac entirely? So that's what I was struggling with as I was heading to the Apple Store this morning. When I got there, I had it in my mind I was going to get the 11-inch MacBook Air. As I walked in the door, that was my intention. I basically felt like I would use the Air as my travel computer, and when I'm home, I'm on the iMac. That's kind of how I work things now, but with the iPad. When I'm at home, I use the iMac for almost everything. I'm not really a huge iPad user. I really only use my iPad when I'm away from the house. I know there's a lot of you guys that use it on the couch and in bed and things like that. For me, that's my iPhone for whatever reason. And the iPad is really my mobile computer when I'm away from home. So my thought process was that the 11-inch Air would be a replacement for my iPad. I'm not going to get rid of the iPad, still going to keep it. The kids have fun with it, but I would do most of my mobile computing on the 11-inch Air. However, the flip side, as I started to look at the 13-inch computer, was, well, maybe I could use this as my main computer. And I could, get out of my office more, be on the sofa, be outside, edit videos, and do things like that on the larger screen, and not upgrade the iMac at all, get rid of it. Or continue to use it for small tasks, but still use the 13-inch. Of course, that would require more money. So that was kind of the dilemma I was faced with as I sat in the Apple Store. After talking to one of the employees there who really helped me out, he kind of was pushing me towards the 13-inch. He wasn't too keen on the 11-inch. He thought it was too small, thought the 13-inch was a good size. Obviously, it has the SD card slot that the 11-inch does not. For me, that wasn't an issue. I have a small card reader that is USB that I can plug in, so it's not a big deal. So after going back and forth, I told him I wanted the 13-inch. They even brought it out. And as he was handing it to me, I started to have doubts. Do I really want to pay the extra money and have the larger computer? Or am I going to be okay keeping my iMac for a while longer and then be better off with a smaller computer when I'm on the road? That was kind of the choice. My choice was, do I A, get the smaller MacBook Air, keep my 2008 iMac, keep using that when I'm at home and only use the Air when I'm out? Or choice B, get the bigger 13-inch MacBook Air and use that at home, a majority of the time, and either transition completely away from the iMac or rely on it some of the time, but really, rely on the MacBook Air most of the time. Those are the two choices I was faced with. So what did I choose in the end? Let's go over to the table and I will show you. All right, the box is out of the bag, quote unquote. You can probably tell from the size of the box, maybe you can't. I ended up going with the 11.6-inch model. I did get the 4 gigs of RAM and 128 gigabyte hard drive. When it came down to it, my iMac that I have now, does it need to be upgraded? Probably not. Would I get, better performance out of one of the newer ones? Yes. But is a 2008 iMac with the specs I have, workable and usable? The answer is yes. So my plan is to make the 11.6-inch my travel computer when I'm away, when I'm out of the house. I'll probably use it sometimes at home, but again, when I'm at home, majority of the time I will stick with my 24-inch iMac. And when the new iMacs come out, whenever it is, this year, next year, then I'll consider upgrading at that point. So let's crack open this 11.6-inch MacBook Air. I don't want to bore you too much with an unboxing, but I know there's a lot of you that like unboxing videos, so we'll get it open and I'll just show you quickly. You know, we'll do the initial boot up and all that good stuff. So let's get the plastic out of the way. It's amazing how, you know, little these boxes have become. One thing to take note of that kind of helped my decision-making process is I was told at the Apple Store that there's no longer unboxing fees for these computers. So, you know, if you're struggling with which model to choose, you don't have to worry about paying an unboxing fee if you go to return it, which is kind of cool. So let's get that out of the way, get it open, and there is the computer itself. We'll lift that up and move that to the side, because of course there's a bunch of other stuff in here. There's of course the power adapter, the MagSafe adapter, as well as, you know, the wall adapter, and then your informational, you know, literature and stickers and all that good stuff in there. Let's get that out of the way. And let's see about doing the initial boot up if I can. I'm gonna pull the plastic off and get it out of here. You know, this is why I chose the 11-inch, just because of how small it is. And, you know, I liken it really to the size of the iPad. You know, it's obviously a little bit bigger, but it really, it can go in your bag as easily as an iPad can. So let's see, let's get that out of the way. And I want to get this in a good position for you guys so you can see everything. And then let's boot it up for the first time. Here we go. Let's see how fast it boots up. Here it goes. I did actually own the previous generation Air, the same model, same size as this, and did end up returning it and did have to pay an unboxing fee. So I'm kind of familiar with, you know, the Air. You know, it has the Thunderbolt port, which I can show you guys in a second after it's done booting up, and then 2 USB ports, and of course the audio port and the charging port. Pretty amazing how fast that booted up, guys. Remember, this is the initial boot up, so I imagine it'll be a little bit slower than, you know, the boot ups after that, but because it is loading for the first time. So let's see what happens. There we go. I'm going to choose English for my main language. I live in the United States. Keyboard is US. I don't want to bore you with too much of the you know, detail. There is my Wi-Fi network. Put in my password. All right, I got that entered. It is now configuring my computer, it says. I'm not going to transfer anything now. It's asking for my Apple ID. There's the licensing agreement. All right, so I had to go through all the registration process and all that. And now if you've upgraded to Lion, you know this is the first thing you see once you've upgraded. So I'm just going to do that now. There we go. And then start using Mac OS X Lion. Now it's going to finish the boot up. And you can see we're good to go. Everything is booted up. So that's just a quick kind of unboxing. I promised I would show you guys the Thunderbolt port, which is right there on the side, along with the USB port. Of course, on the other side, you've got another USB and the MagSafe adapter charger, as well as the audio port. Really not much else other than the little rubber feet and then the Apple logo. So, you know, that's kind of my rationale, why I chose the size that I chose. Again, you've got 15 days to try it out, no restocking fee. If I find it's too small or I miss the SD reader or anything like that, you can always go back and swap it out for the larger model. So I'm going to start enjoying my MacBook Air. I hope you guys are staying cool because it is hot as hell outside. Otherwise, you have a great day.